Hey everybody. Hi. Hello. Welcome. My name is Jennifer Rose. I'm going to do a quick introduction. Um, Jennifer Rose, miracles, meditation, and slow mindful movement. So it's interesting if you kind of look at some of my work, you'll see that I talk a lot about A Course in Miracles. I talk a lot about meditation, and I actually have some practices available for everyone for free, of course. And I talk a lot about slow mindful movement because I am a yoga teacher and it's very important for me as I'm practicing my own practice and then teaching yoga that it's slow, mindful movement. We're not trying to whip around or try to make fancy shapes. But that being said, today I wanted to talk about a section from A Course in Miracles, which I have been working with and I have found to be very helpful. Especially, we've been working with this in one of my in-person groups that I facilitate. Okay, so I'm going to bring the book down. This is this is the edition that I use. This is my second, the Foundation for Inner Peace edition. I don't think it really matters what edition, just use what you've got or try something new. Just check it out and see how it feels for you. So, this is the Foundation for Inner Peace. This is my second book. This is the one, I've had like two books in 30 years. So, this is the second one. And then today, the section is in chapter 27. The chapter is called Healing of the Dream, and this is section IV or 4. It's called The Quiet Answer. And as I read through, it's about 2 pages. As I read through the section, maybe it'll take about 30 minutes. I'm not really sure. We'll see. We'll see how long it'll take. I'll give some commentary, but just think about what's bugging you. Like something's bugging you. You've got a problem. You're trying to figure something out. Could be big, could be small. And the course says that there's not only are there no order of difficulty in miracles, there's actually no order of difficulty in problems. But the basis of this section is reiterating that when our mind is anxious, searching, conflicted, there's no way that we can come to an answer where there's peace. When our mind is, it also calls it an unforgiven mind. I like to call it an anxious mind. Anxious mind, unforgiven mind is pretty much the same. So I'll get into the material and then I will be making comments. And this is a great thing. I like to listen to a lot of this type of material when I'm taking my walk or even when I'm driving. Don't look at the picture, just use it as an audio. But I think it's nice to have it as like a background so you're just like feeding your mind the truth. Okay, so let's just get into it. Welcome to we're just going to read this section, chapter 27, section 4, the quiet mind. And you can use this and apply the principles in this section to anything that's bugging you, any problem that you have, or situation or fear. All right, the quiet answer. In quietness are all things answered, and is every problem quietly resolved. In conflict, there can be no answer and no resolution, for its purpose is to make no resolution possible and to ensure no answer will be plain. A problem set in conflict has no answer, for it is seen in different ways, and what would be an answer from one point of view is not an answer in another light. You are in conflict. Thus, it must be clear you cannot answer anything at all, for conflict has no limited effects. Yet, if God or divine love, you can always use divine love for God. Yet, if God gave an answer, there must be a way in which your problems are resolved. For what he wills has already been done. Everything is complete in love, or there is completion when we have a divine answer. Thus, it must be that time is not involved and every problem can be answered now, in the now moment, present moment awareness. Yet it must also be that, in your state of mind, solution is impossible. Therefore, God, divine beloved, must be given, must have given you a way for reaching to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. So that's that state of mind where the answer lies, the holy instant, the now moment. It is here that all your problems should be brought and left. Here they belong, for here their answer is. And what its answer is, a problem must be simple and be easily resolved. It must be pointless to attempt to solve a problem where the answer cannot be. Yet just as surely it must be resolved if it is brought to where the answer is. So it's a pointless to try to solve a problem where there's no answer. There's no answer there. So you're like trying to find an answer. I like to think about like more thinking about the problem doesn't solve the problem because the answer doesn't lie in more thinking. But it says if you bring the problem to where the answer is, you will be given an answer. Attempt to solve no problem, but within the holy instant's surety. For there the problem will be answered and resolved. Outside, there will be no solution, for there is no answer there that could be found. Nowhere outside a single simple question is ever asked. The world can only ask double questions. One with many answers can have no answer. None of them will do. It does not ask a question to be answered, but only to restate its point of view. So when you're asking questions, so when you're asking a question in the world or you're looking for answers in the world, it's not going to be there. All questions asked within this world are but a way of looking, not a question asked. So it's just a perspective. It's not a question. You're not asking an honest question. You're just giving your opinion. A question asked in hate cannot be answered because it is an answer in itself. A double question asks and answers, both attesting the same thing in a different form. The world asks but one question. It is this: of these illusions, which one of them is true? Which one of them, which illusion, will establish peace and joy? And what can bring escape from all the pain of which this world is made? Whatever form the question takes, its purpose is the same. It asks but to establish sin is real and the answers in the form of preference. So there's only, if you're asking the question in the world, the only thing you're really asking of is which illusion is true? Which one can give me peace out of all these illusions? Which one's going to give me joy out of all these illusions? And then the real question is the same. It's always the same. It asks but to establish if sin is real and answers in the form of preference. Which sin do you prefer? That that is the one that you should choose. The others are not true. What can the body get that you would want the most of all? It is your servant and also your friend. but tell it what you want and it will serve you lovingly and well. And this is not a question, for it tells you what you want and where to go for it. It leaves no room to question its beliefs, except that what it states takes questions forms. So it's just more questioning. It's like, which illusion do you want to be true? And I'll give you that answer, except it's a pseudo answer. Paragraph 5. A pseudo question has no answer. It dictates the answer even as it asks. Thus is all questioning within the world a form of propaganda for itself. Just as the body's witnesses are but the sense from within itself, so are the answers to the questions the world contains within the questions that are asked. Where answers represent the questions, they add nothing new and nothing has been learned. So when you ask a question within the world, the answer is always going to be verifying or bringing back evidence or justifying that the world is real. And the same for the body. Just as the body is a witness or brings back evidence with its senses that the world is real and that the body is real. So that's what it's telling us here. That you ask a question of the world and you always get a pseudo answer because there are no real answers. Okay. They had nothing new and nothing has been learned. An honest question is a learning tool that asks for something that you do not know. Yeah, that makes sense. Like learning, when you learn, you're getting new information. You're learning something that you didn't know. And that's what an honest question is. It's a learning tool. I'll begin again. Paragraph 5, sentence 6. An honest question is a learning tool that asks for something that you do not know. It does not set conditions for response, but merely asks what the response should be. I'm going to turn the page. But no one in conflict, but no one in a conflict state is free to ask this question, for he does not want an honest answer or the conflict ends. It just makes me laugh. You know, if I've had a problem with someone and I'm just like working it through my mind, I'm going on and on in my mind. Well, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if they say this? What if they say that? I really don't want an answer. I really don't want an answer. I just want the drama or the juice. And there's no end to conflict there. Only within the holy instant can an honest question honestly be asked. That's like a good self-inquiry. If I'm having a problem, especially in my relationships, and I'm running through, they did this and they did that to me, and I should do this and I should do that. When I'm running that show, number one, I don't want the answer. And number two, I'm not really asking an honest question. And the honest question would be, where is the peace? Where is the joy? How can I extend forgiveness to myself, extend forgiveness to myself, and extend forgiveness to my brothers and my sisters? So I'll start again with paragraph 6. Only within the holy instant can an honest question honestly be asked. And from the meaning of the question does the meaningful of the answer come. Here it is possible to separate your wishes from the answer, so it can be given you and also be received. The answer is provided everywhere, yet it is only here that it can be heard, within the holy instant, within the now moment. An honest answer asks no sacrifice because answers questions truly asked. An honest answer asks no sacrifice because it answers questions truly asked. The questions of the world, but ask of whom is sacrifice demanded? Asking not if sacrifice is meaningful at all. And so, unless the answer tells of whom, it will remain unrecognized, unheard, and thus the question is preserved intact because it gave the answer to itself. So it's so interesting. It's like, I don't want an answer. I don't want a true answer. I don't want to ask an honest question unless I know that someone's going to be blamed, and certainly not going to be me. I don't want the answer unless I know someone will be proclaimed wrong in the answer. They did it to me. They did that thing to me. Okay. And so when we're in that atmosphere of thought, that realm of thought, there can be, you won't recognize the answer. The answer will remain unrecognized, unheard, and thus the question, is it preserved intact because it gave the answer to itself? The holy instant is the interval in which the mind is still enough to hear an answer that is not entailed within the question itself. It's a quiet mind, it's a relaxed mind, it's an open-minded mind. The holy instant offers something new and different from the question. How could it be answered if it but repeats itself? Therefore, attempt to solve no problems in the world from which the answer has been barred, but bring the problem to the only place that holds the answer lovingly for you. Here are the answers that will solve your problems because they stand apart from them. They stand apart from your problems. And see what can be answered, what really the question is. Within the world, the answers merely raise another question, though they leave the first unanswered. In the holy instant, you can bring the question to the answer and receive the answer that was made for you. I love that. Like there's a perfect answer for every problem that I perceive when I bring that problem, when I bring my perception of the situation, the person, the place, the thing, the situation, when I bring that to divine mind, the holy mind, the Course calls it the Holy Spirit, the holy instant. So when I bring my mind to that moment of quietness where I'm willing to receive another perspective, another way of looking at this. That's where the answer lies that was made just for me. And that's true learning. I'll go back to that one sentence in paragraph 5. An honest question is a learning tool that asks for something that you do not know, something new. Ah, when I think about problems or situations that I have, and my mind is just going and going and going, and I'm like trying to figure it out. Is it going to work for this way? Is it going to work this way? Is it going to work this way? It's like I can't get anything to fit. Everything's separate, and nobody wins in any of the answers that I come up with. But if I can quiet my mind, and if I'm willing, just have to be a little willing, if I'm willing to see the situation different, the person different, the place different. And I choose to ask to see this in another way. The answer's there for me. And it might not come immediately. Sometimes I have to wait just a little bit, but it definitely comes. So I hope you find this helpful. If you want to study more with me in A Course in Miracles, just reach out to me in the comments, or I think I'll have my email. But there'll be ways that you can find me. I'm also on Facebook. and do all the things that help me help you. I mean, like, subscribe, share, all those kind of things. And thanks for studying with me. Just know that I'm very interested in using the spiritual principles for practical application to our everyday problems. Okay, bye now.